Hello and welcome to the Flourishing Tribe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you're watching me from, whatever the part of the world you are in. I welcome you to my video 2 in the Flourishing Tribe. We talked about, if you have not seen my intro video, you probably need to go to my page or my Instagram page, or it should be on my channel as well to see it. And today marks the second official video of the Flourishing Tribe. And as I promised in my first video, today I'm going to be talking about the core of who you are and what you have. And I'll tell you why this is important. I believe I'm talking to a diverse group, people that will watch this video if you are watching it now, and people that will see this video are going to be a diverse group. So some of you will probably be entrepreneurs, some of you will be career people, some of you may be not yet working, and some of you may be in ministry, some of you may be in a form of spiritual leadership or the other. Whatever it is that you are doing, I believe that this applies to you, especially if you are that person that is in the spiritual leadership capacity, and at the same time you are in the business or the corporate world or in the industry in one form or the other. And I'm going to be talking about that in a different video, of how there's really no separation or no dichotomy between who you are as a believer and who you are as a career person, or as a business person, as an entrepreneur, or whatever it is that you do. There's really no dichotomy, because sometimes people say, I have my spiritual life and then I have my career life. No, there's more life. Okay, but I'm going to be talking about that in a separate video, so you need to stay tuned to this page, to this channel. There will be so many things I'll be talking about. But today I want to just touch on three things that I consider the bedrock of a lot of things, especially and this has been my foundation for quite a long time, and I consider it as the underlying foundation. And so we can go into even each of these three things in more details later, but today I want to set like a quick foundation and a quick intro into that. And this will really be important for you, no matter what it is that you're doing at this time of your life. And those three things are: one, who you have on your side. In other words, who is for you, who is working with you. And I'm not talking about people, we'll get to people in a minute, but I'm talking more about the divinity that is working with you. And this is true even for people that are not believers. I tell you, everyone in this world has something that they are banking on, or someone that they are banking on. Some people, even traditionalists, for them it's not someone, there's something. Maybe it's a graven image or it's something, but they believe that there's a force behind it that is helping them and propelling them in whatever it is that they're doing. So whatever level that you are in, you need to understand and realize who is with you, what force is behind you. The second thing, and I'm going to be touching on each of them in a minute, let me just tell you the three things. The second thing is what you have, the equipment that you have, the resources that you are here on this earth with, to work with, the equipment that you have been designed with, that will help you to succeed and to propel you forward in life. And the third thing is who you as a person, who you are. What is the core of your being? How do you see yourself? And these three things that I'm saying hold true irrespective of where you are in life, whether you're a believer or you're not, whether you're a Christian or you're not, whether you're in the corporate world or you're not, whatever it is. If you understand these three things and you put them in the right perspective, I tell you, these are like the propelling forces of your life, or can be the propelling forces of your life. They've been for me. These are the truths and the depths that help you to move from one level to another, help you to overcome situations and circumstances, no matter what it is that you're going through. These are the things that help you go through a season and come out into the next season of your life. So let's stay on the first one for a minute. Who you have. Who is the person that is working with you? And if you're a believer, I'm talking about the Godhead, God. I'm talking about Jesus. Who is with you? And of course, because I am a Christian, I'm going to read a few scriptures for you to, to give you an idea of what I'm talking about and to be the basis of this discussion that we're about to have now. And I'm going to be reading the book of Hebrews chapter 10. Hebrews chapter 10 from the NASB, from verse 19. It says, therefore, brethren, since we have, and I want you to take note of a few words that will be coming out in this passage of scripture that we are reading. Therefore, brethren, since we have, that's one, what you have, confidence to enter the holy place by the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way which he inaugurated for us through the veil, that is his flesh. And since we have, the second half, a great priest over the house of God, let us draw near with a sincere heart in full assurance of faith, having, the third half, having our hearts sprinkled clean from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Yeah, pure water, not your regular pure water. The pure water of the word. Okay, now these simple verses, 3 verses that we've read, I've mentioned 3 things that we have. The first thing it says that we have confidence. That we have confidence to enter the holy place. That we have boldness. That we have blessing. That word talks about a free and fearless confidence, without comparison. Okay, so it says you have confidence. Confidence also speaks of faith, and faith in someone or in something. So faith in the word, faith in Jesus, faith in God, faith in the blessing. So, but you have something. So it's telling you that first of all, you have something. Your confidence is what is like an equipment that you have in this context. It says you have confidence to enter the holy place. So you are coming with an equipment to enter the holy place, and it calls it confidence. So you can call it the blessing, call it the force of the blessing, call it the fearless confidence and boldness that we have. So you have something. The second thing that it says that you have, if you look at verse 21, is that you have a great high priest, talking about a person. That you have someone, you have a priest that is working for you and with you. That you have a priest. People that are into diabolical things, usually they have there's always one baba or one priest somewhere that is backing them up and maybe chanting things while they are asleep, making sure that whatever it is that they put on their altar is working. But the Bible says that you and I, we have a priest that is over the house of God. So it's telling us that there's a person that we have. Remember, I said there are 3 things. Who you have, what you have. So here, verse 21 is showing you who you have, that you have a great high priest. Verse 19 is telling you what you have, that you have confidence, you have boldness, you have faith, you have the blessing. And verse 22 now says that you have your heart sprinkled clean from an evil conscience and your bodies washed with pure water. So it's talking about the transformation of your heart, the transformation of your person, who you are becoming, who you are, the core of who you are, that your heart is sprinkled clean, washed clean, that you have moved from unrighteousness to righteousness, that you have moved from being cursed to being blessed. So it's talking about your person. 3 things. So the first thing is, who do you have on your side? Who is with you? If you're a career person, if you're a business person, if you're a ministry person, you're a spiritual leader, whatever it is that you are or you're engaged in, who do you understand who is on your side? The Bible says that if God be for us, who can be against us? If God is for us, who? As in who? You need to think about the depth of that statement. That if God is for you, who can be against you? It's a statement of dare. It's a statement, is a daring statement. It's a statement that says, if you dare, give me an answer. If you are so sure, then tell me, give me an answer. That if God is for me, who can be against me? In other words, if somebody looks like they're against me, or if somebody looks like against me, the Bible really doesn't count them as significant, because it's saying that as long as God is for you, those people don't qualify. As long as God is for you, those people don't qualify. Who is for you? So you need to understand the depth of who is on your side. Who is on your side? That God is for you. You need to know. You need to wake up every morning and know that God is for you. And you see, this things sound very simple and very cliche. But I can tell you that many people don't really believe and know for sure. Like, you can sleep and wake up if you sleep for 20 hours, you slept for 5 days straight, and they wake you up and say, who is for you? A lot of people might stammer. They are not sure. If something is going on in your life, something is going on around you, and somebody is asking you who is on your side, who is working for you, some people are not sure. They are not sure if they can answer that question confidently, because they are trying to weigh, what they've done. They are trying to weigh where they are. They are trying to weigh, their righteousness, and see if God is still for them or not for them. As far as they are concerned, God is for me when I'm doing right. God is not for me when I'm not doing right. But no, He says, I'm with you always, even to the end of the age. So divinity is with you. God is on your side. Like, God is on your side. It says, I have your back. Do you get that? If God has your back, that's why the Bible says that, tell me who is the person that can be against you. Because when the person is against you, the person is against God. And then, who can really stand against God? You see, this simple thing I'm saying, that I'm sharing with you, will change your entire perspective. Will change will change your outlook in life. Will change how you approach a situation, and how you realize that, you know what, I am going to get through this. This one is going to pass, and I'm going to overcome and come out on the other side, in a much better place. Why? Because I know the person that is for me, the person that is walking with me. The Bible calls him Jehovah Jireh. See, in the book of Genesis, talking about Isaac, the book of the story of Isaac and Abraham, when they went to the mountain to sacrifice his son. At the end of the day, the revelation that they caught was that it is the Jehovah that sees to it. Abraham knew that he had a God that sees to it, that whatever needs to happen in my life to get me in the direction of God's purpose for my life will happen. Why? Because He is for me. He cut a covenant with Abraham, and from that moment on, the Bible says that Abraham believed in hope against hope. Why? Because he knew with whom he had a covenant. He knew how covenants worked, because he was a heathen before. He knew how covenants worked. So when God cut a covenant with him, he was so dead sure that come rain, come shine, this God that I've cut a covenant with will always show up for me. He was so sure. That's why when his son was asking him, where's the sacrifice? He said, you know what? God will provide for himself a lamb. Don't worry. God will sort it out. God will sort it out. And the Bible says that he was the kind of person that he was so confident that even God can raise the dead, that even if he sacrificed Isaac, that God will raise him, because God had told him that this son is going to be your son. He was so sure of the kind of God that he had, the kind of person that was backing him up. And you see, this is why when we understand it, faith becomes simple. Faith does not become rocket science. That, and you're trying to measure, do I have faith? Do I don't have faith? No. If you understand the power of the person that is for you, faith becomes a daily walk. All right? So that's the first thing, who you have. And you need to know that you have God. You need to know that you have God. He's with you. He's with you. He's with you. And he wants to help you. He wants to exert his force on your behalf. He's more eager to exert his force on your behalf than you are eager for him to show up. As in, he wants to show, it's like when you have a powerful father, a powerful parent, and something happens to you, they want to pull their weight and show that they are for you. That's who God is. He wants to pull his weight on your behalf. Will you allow him? Let him pull his weight on your behalf. Trust. You need to trust. Trust. Oh, there's so many things to talk about on this one. Well, today I'm whetting your appetite for the things that we'll be talking about over time. The second thing, like I said, is what you have, the equipment and the resources that you were sent to this world with. The equipment and the resources that you were sent to this world with, and the biggest of them all is the blessing. Oh, that's so beautiful right there. It's the blessing. In Genesis chapter 1, the very first interaction that God had with man was a blessing interaction. Bible said that when God made man, then he breathed into him the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And God said to him, and Bible said, God blessed him and said to him, be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth, and have dominion. So the first thing that happened between man and God was a blessing transference, was an equipping. When he made man out of the dust, the first thing that God did was to give you his life, his DNA, the thing that makes him God. He put it into you, and Bible said man became a living soul. He became full of life. So he gave you the blessing. He gave you the blessing. That's the equipment that you have. He gave you the blessing. And that's why the Bible says that since we have confidence to enter the holy place by the blood of Jesus. We have the confidence to enter the holy place by the blood of Jesus, because he transferred his blessing to you. And the blessing is the empowerment of God, the thing that makes God function as God. He gave it to you. No wonder he says that. Don't you know that you are God and children of the Most High? As in, don't you know? Don't you know? Have you not heard? Can't you see that you are God and children of the Most High? Why? Because he gave you exactly what it takes to be a God. He gave you the blessing. And so somebody saying, oh, but Shay, it seems like I'm cursed. Or I see a curse walking around in my life. I see something operating in my life. Okay. The question is, do you know that you have the blessing? And if you have the blessing, a curse cannot stay where the blessing is. So the day you understand the revelation of this blessing and you activate it, every curse has to disappear. It's like light and darkness. It's like light and darkness. When light comes, it does not argue with darkness. Darkness has to leave. Do you get? Darkness has to leave. Light does not come and say, hey, I've come, oh darkness, oh yeah, you go to one side. No. The moment you put on light, darkness disappears. The moment you turn on your understanding of the blessing and what you carry, the resources that you have, because you can have something and not know how to use it and not realize that you have it. Darkness has to flee. What you have, it is inbuilt, and it's for you to, I give an example. So I have the car that I have here, that I drive. It was after a couple of days and weeks, in searching and reading the manual and going through the whole settings and everything, that I realized that, look, first of all, my car can do two things I didn't realize that it could do. One is that it can help me to straighten my hand and it adjusts my steering when I'm getting out of line. So when I'm driving and I'm no longer driving on a straight line, my steering starts to adjust to tell me that, hey, you are not driving straight. So I start to feel like, I didn't know what it was until I read the manual. I just realized that I'm trying to, my car is going, and the steering is doing something. Like, what's wrong with this car? Okay. And the second thing was that, because I'm driving, I'm living in a place where roads are very well marked. Roads are marked. My car can detect a straight line when you're out of line. So the moment you're out of line, it starts to beep that you're no longer in a straight line. Because they expect you to be driving straight, not to be driving, hazardously, like we used to in where I was living before. So those two things, and I used to wonder, why is this car beeping? Then I went to read up the manual. I looked into the car and I realized that, oh, okay, it was designed with these features to tell you when you're out of line, to help you to be straight, so you don't go and hit a covert when you're no longer straight. It was there, but you see, I didn't know it was. And the moment I realized, the day I discovered it, man, I just left it on that permanent setting. I just left it on that permanent sensor. So I know that I cannot go out of line unless I want to deliberately go out of line. But see, my car will already start to say pum 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 pum, pum and show me, you know, in the little dashboard where the screen is, it shows me that, and starts to show me that I'm tilting, and starts to show me that I'm crossing the red line. It's the same way you are designed and fashioned with a blessing, and you need to activate it. You need to use it. You need to use it. No one can reverse the blessing that God gave you. He gave it to you. He designed you with it. He fashioned you. That's the equipment and the resource that you brought, that you came here, that you came to this world with. So when you step into your business, when you step into that ministry, when you step into your office, you need to realize that you came with a blessing. That you're a blessed man. And the blessing does so many things. It opens doors for you. The blessing equips you. The blessing helps you. The blessing gives you wisdom. And no one can take away the blessing that you have unless the person is greater than God. You know, if you've ever watched, and I was giving this example to my team a couple of days ago, if you've ever watched African Magic, and I know some of you watch it, yeah? You see some of these things because people that operate, you know, diabolically or in the negative supernatural, they know some of these things. That when, you know, and if you've seen some of those movies where maybe, you know, somebody was cursed with something, and you know they're trying to find a remedy, all of a sudden, you know, the person didn't do the sacrifice or whatever that they were supposed to do, and they're trying to find a remedy. So oftentimes the person goes to the herbalist that did it and said, or goes to the herbalist and says, this thing, I needed to revoke this curse or whatever is happening to me. The herbalist goes inside their secret place and starts to chant or do whatever they do. And then sometimes you will see that another entity shows up and tell the herbalist, don't go there. As in, don't try it. This one is our meat. Don't try it. And the Baba will generally come out and tell you, madam, this one has passed my power. I think you should go elsewhere. So what happens? They start to look for somebody that has higher authority than the one that placed the curse. Because when somebody is blessed or when somebody is cursed, it takes one that is higher than the one that blessed you or higher than the one that cursed you to remove the effect of the curse or to remove the effect of the blessing. The same way, if God has blessed you, it takes an entity that is higher than God to revoke the blessing. And I don't know who is higher than God. I don't know what entity is higher than God. It's the most high, like the highest of the highest. If you don't know, it's like the most high. There's nothing beyond him. When you get to God, you've finished. That's it. So when the highest force in the universe, when the highest being blesses you, we are blessed. You're blessed. Nothing can revoke the blessing. Nothing. And the third thing, like I said, is who you are. Who you are. Who you are transforming to be. Who you show up as. Understanding that you are salt and light. That when you show up in a place, because you carry the blessing, a greater than Solomon has showed up. You need to know that when you show up in a place, solution has just showed up. Yeah. You can like me or hate me, but that's the truth. When I show up in a place, I came here to make it better. If there was no light before, the moment I stepped in, I came with light. That's who I was. You know, when the prophet in 2 Kings 4 or so, Elijah, when he got into a town, they told him, look, the water here is so bitter. The land is pleasant, but the water is bad. What can we do without water? And then he said, go and get me some water. Well, he said, get me salt. Then he took salt and put it in the water, and the Bible says that the thing turned around. The water became good. Everyone was rejoicing. Why? Because he put salt into it. So that tells me that when you put salt into a thing, it changes the state. It metamorphosizes the taste, the state of that thing. When you put salt in your food, you know how it changes. You don't have to argue with it. It is the property of salt in itself. NaCl, right? If you did chemistry, salt is NaCl. I hope I'm right. The property of salt in itself changes the taste and the context of where it is placed. You don't have to argue with it. You don't have to do anything about it. When salt enters, solution has come, sweetness has come. That's who you are. You are not a pitiful person. You're not the person that, that is praying hard not to be fired. No, no, these are paradigms that you need to let go. You're not the person that is praying hard not to be fired. Of course, you need to work hard. You know that. We're going to get to practical things that you need to do. But today, I'm talking about the core of who you are, the being, your fashion, your design, and then we can talk about operating in it in another video. But today, I'm talking about who you are. You need to understand who you are. Nobody argues with salt. It doesn't. Circumstances or situations do not change who you are. The weather does not change your gender. Do you understand? Whether it is Harmattan, or it is summer, or it is winter, or it is autumn or spring, a man is a man, a woman is a woman. You will adjust your clothing, you will adjust your method, you will adjust how you approach the weather, you will adjust what you do within those times, but it does not change who you are at all. Nothing. It's the same way about how God made you and designed you and fashioned you. Situations and circumstances does not change you. Does not change the core of who you are. So you don't wake up today and you're feeling hopeless and worthless, and you're like, my life is worth nothing. And then tomorrow, why? Because you're waiting, you are riding on the validation of men, or you are depending on what people say and what they don't say, depending on people's opinion of you, is how you are determining whether you are great or you are not great. Hello, you are great. You were designed that way. You were designed to cause a shift when you enter a place. You were designed to dispel darkness when you enter a place. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you understand these three things, I'm telling you, it changes your paradigm. It changes your view of who you are. It changes your view of the world. It changes your view of situations and circumstances. It changes your view even of God. You will know that your relationship with God becomes very personal. It becomes very rich. Why? Because you are dealing with a God that has your back. You're not dealing with a God that is coming with fire and brimstone. You're dealing with a God that has your back. So if you're a career person, you're a ministry person, you're a mother, you're a father, you have children or you don't yet, you're married, you're not married, if you understand these three things, it will help you even in your decisions in life, on where to go, where to work, who to marry, who not to marry, what to do when you're in a situation, how to approach a situation, what to do when situations and circumstances, when tribulations and frustrations are coming your way, when afflictions come your way, because this is life. These three things: who you have on your side, what you have and carry, and who you are, the way you were fashioned. Believe me, you are like they say, an atomic bomb going somewhere to explode. That's who you are. I hope you learned something today. And we are talking about the flourishing tribe. This is the fundamentals. In marketing we talk about brand fundamentals. These are the fundamentals of how you win. Fundamentals of how you conquer, how you dominate. We'll talk about dominion in another video. How you were made for dominion. Oh, I so love that series. How you were fashioned for dominion. I so love it. But this is what I wanted to share with you today. I hope it helps you. I believe it blessed you as well. If you're watching this video, I believe it blessed you and it has helped you. Put it down somewhere. Think about it. Meditate on these things. Search the scriptures for yourself and ask yourself, tomorrow morning when I get into work, I'm coming with this mindset. I'm coming with this mindset that I have a God that has my back. I have divinity on my side. I carry the blessing, the force of the blessing. I have confidence to enter the holy place. And I am who God has made me to be. I am salt and I'm light. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. So enjoy. If you have questions, please send them to me. You can drop them on my page, drop them in my DM, drop them in the comments. Yeah, feel free to drop them to me, and I will answer them. If you have topics that you want us to look at, I will answer them. I have so many topics I can share with you, so many things, even where corporate world is concerned, and we'll talk about this thing. So we're on a journey. There's no rush to it. All right, God bless you. and have a lovely, lovely day, and see you in the next video. Thank you, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and we take it on from there. Thank you so much. Bye.